All right, guys. Cody pulled through from White Oak Productions. Right there, this link. Go over and check him out. He is an awesome guy. But as you guys know, we've been struggling with an intake hat, elbow, horn. I don't know what you call it. And Cody went out to the junkyard for me. He didn't find the exact one, but he did find... Oh, wow. Let me get this open. Oh, all right, guys. Here it is. Cody cleaned it up for us and everything. Look at that. I'm not even going to get my hands dirty putting it on. Basically, I screwed up the... I broke the... There's an EGR on the side of the metal ones. We're actually... we're just not going to use that guy. I can't say that word. But they, yeah, block off something another, and this won't have to regurgitate its own crap. So anyway, with that being said, yeah, perfect fit. This is off an 03, guys. You got the vacuum port there. There's 3 vacuum ports, just like ours. So this is gonna work. I just got the air idle control back here. I got to make sure that that's the right one, or I will have to pull it off. Yeah, this is gonna work, I think, just fine and dandy. All right, guys, off camera, I'm going to install this and try to figure everything out. We'll bring you back in as soon as this elbow hat intake apparatus is put on. So found a cute little note that Cody wrote me not to break this one. Cody, I'll promise I won't break this one. He gave and sent, it was in the bottom here. I got the bolts here and everything, so I won't break it. Maybe I'll try not to. It's plastic. You it's like handing a kid a... Anyway, I'll get this on, Cody, without breaking it, I promise. And we're gonna hear this run today. We're gonna fire this thing up. Alrighty, guys, we're just finishing up bolting the alternator on, so it's out of our way, out of the battery tray. We just kind of like those easy pieces, like the power steering pump and the alternator, instead of disconnecting them and taking them off as a unit, we just kind of set them aside, and it worked really good in this engine swap. We did the same thing with the AC unit, the power steering pump, the alternator, anything that you could just unbolt and set aside and bungee. We did that, and it's turned out really well on this engine swap. Just an FYI. We're gonna go ahead first off and do a oil pump run up with no fuel. We want to see it make pressure on the gauge. Even though it's a dummy gauge, I want to see the gauge move. To do that, we went ahead and pulled the fuel pump fuse. So fuel is not going to be introduced yet. We want to check for oil. Okay, we're going to crank it over, make sure everything's smooth. We're going to get the oil up and get it lubricated first. Step 2, we're going to do a fuel system check and leak test. And we're going to prime the fuel rail at the Schrader valve. And then step 3, if we get to there today, we're going to do a dry fire. What I mean by dry fire is no radiator hooked up, no accessory pulleys hooked up. We're going to fire it in the truck with just the battery and do an exhaust hose out to see if it runs and see how smooth it is. If all those pass, then we're going to we're going to put the serpentine belt on and just do a quick run of that to see if we're charging. And then we're going to stop there and then rebuild the front end from there on out. That's kind of how I like to do things. People can do them different. I'm just kind of doing it that way because I want to hear it run. I want to make sure the transmission goes into gear before putting time into this auction truck, because this is a flipper. We're not keeping it. So if this motor's, we threw our dice, on the table. If we come up and lose, this is going to be a parter outer. I'm not going to swing the bat at a ball again, putting another junkyard motor into our 5.4. So basically you'll see, if we fail at this motor this drivetrain, I'll part it out. I'll part the axles out. I know it's a lot of labor lost, but this whole front clip, the doors, yeah, it'll all come off this truck and get sold or onto another project. Guys, I'm gonna have Elijah hold the camera here, and once he gets out of the engine bay, we're going to do the first test. oil pressure. Actually, I'll do it from the inside the vehicle so we can see it come up. There's not 2 cameras we can use at the moment. Are you clear?
I'm not clear yet.
Be clear. Let's do this. Ooh, all right, we're looking for oil pressure. Clear?
Right, we're clear.
Okay, we're doing an oil pressure test. Never got oil pressure on that test. Let's let it sit for 2 minutes and we're gonna come back and crank it again for 30 seconds. Off camera here, it took 3 times. I didn't film all 3 times and when it actually happened, but it happened. We got oil pressure to come up. Okay, now, if you just dry started that, it would have ran for a good minute, probably a minute. I'd say we cranked it over total time, maybe a minute and a half, without oil because it wasn't primed. So that is why you do that step. This thing would have been sit here idling with no oil pressure because you know, it's cavitating. So that is one of my things I like to do when I do an engine swap is to get the oil pressure to come up and build pressure. Now we can check for leaks without it idling and we can actually look under the truck and verify that one. We're gonna let's pressure test it one more time, cranking, and check for leaks that way. It's more frustrating to start this sucker up and have oil gushing out of the cooler. So I'm gonna go crank it over off camera. I'm gonna have Elijah watch the oil cooler that we swapped on and look for leaks. One more dry test, and then we're gonna add fuel. All right, Kate, you stay down there. I want you to look for fuel leaks from down low. I'll look from up high. Okay. Since you're already underneath there. You smell gas, let me know. Fuel pump did kick in. I heard it.
Yep.
No leaks. I don't hear anything down there.
Well, it's gone, I think.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Schrader valve it. Schrader valve's right there. See that, guys? I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, you're going to smell a little bit of gas when I hit the Schrader valve. Okay. We got fuel.
Nice.
We're good. We got fuel. All right, guys. Now, I learned from Zane a long time ago at Hodgepodge Dodge Garage. You know how to operate a fire extinguisher, kid? Something bad happened? You just pull this pin. Pull it. Okay. You gotta pull it hard because there's a tab on here. Yeah. Pull this pin and then add it to the base of the fire and sweep. Yeah. But I should be right here with you. Okay, so let's do this. See what happens. Burns like a kid. It don't run. That runs pretty goddamn good. Listen to that baby purr. Oh yeah. All right, guys, we're getting the exhaust in here. I gotta shut her down. I came back from town, and this is the progress we've got made so far. Looking good. Core supports in, radiator's going back in, guys. Looks like he's got the fan back on. Just snug that fan down, right? Yeah. You didn't have to tighten it, just snug it down.
Yeah, I just got it down.
And yeah, you have the brackets for the air intake.
Good.
It's not gonna be drivable today. EGR block off, or can't say that. EGR isn't 100% done yet. Can't tell you guys what we're doing there. It's just not PC. And then we got to swap some wheels and tires over, do some exhaust work. We got a lot going on still. We got a long path ahead of us to get this thing back on the road. Big debut in the project.
Yeah.
One clamp. That's all I get out of one.
Yep.
nowadays. One clamp.
One clamp. Oh, maybe.
Maybe we can take it off and put a. Well, here's a little update. We got looks like the front grill is on. The fiberglass doohickey that holds the grill. What's that called? The header piece. Bumper's on, going on. Sort of look like a truck again.
Not terrible.
Kyle, what are we gonna do here? A little bit of straight pipe action. Do it.
Give it a rip. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Ooh, some coolant burn off. All right, guys, we're gonna leave this episode off right here. We're gonna come back to another one. Yeah, runs tits.